Boynton, and I'm the President and CEO of the Dyslexia Achievement Center.
And I'm Gail Buckberger. I am the co-owner of Lake Blue Wellness and ADHD Specialty Clinic.
Today we're going to go over defining dyslexia, the incidence of dyslexia, the intervention for dyslexia, other concerns that go along with dyslexia, define ADHD, ADD, the incidence of ADHD, the interventions for ADHD, and other comorbidities. So dyslexia is a specific learning disability that is neurobiological. This means that it is focused in the brain, and that they actually have done tests and see that there is differences in students with dyslexia in their brain in which areas the brain learn to read. So basically it's characterized by difficulties with accurate or fluent word recognition and by poor spelling or decoding abilities. These typically result in a deficit in the phonological component of language and is often unexpected in relation to other cognitive ability. So the prevalence of dyslexia is about 20% of the population has it, so that's about 1 in 5. 40% of students with dyslexia have another diagnosis in addition to dyslexia. There is no relationship to intelligence. It is language-based. And dyslexia is included as a specific learning disability in the DSM-5, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual 5th edition. Dyslexia is usually inherited. It's lifelong, although it can be remediated with correct instruction. Different areas that are impacted by dyslexia include reading, phonemic awareness, phonics, vocabulary, fluency, writing, spelling, comprehension. As you can see, somebody with dyslexia might have one area or multiple areas impacted. It depends. Like we say, you meet one person with dyslexia, you met one person with dyslexia. And there's different components that are underneath dyslexia, which include a handwriting component, which is dysgraphia, a math component, which is dyscalculia, and a coordination component, which is dyspraxia. So the intervention that is needed is explicit, multisensory, and structured literacy. Basically, it means you're doing one thing at a time, using multiple senses, which includes multiple areas of the brain. It's very structured, and you follow a pattern. It's also known as Orton-Gillingham, or the science of reading. Other things that you might need long-term are accommodations. So extra time on tests, getting notes from a teacher or peer, using adaptive equipment for reading, including audio textbooks, using typing or a dictionary on essay tests, and using a calculator and math facts on math tests.
And now we'll get into what is ADHD. ADHD is a broadly defined attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. It used to be that some people would call it ADD or ADHD. Now it all falls under one diagnostic criteria of ADHD, whether it's all components or just one. It is also a developmental disorder that's in the brain that impairs level of inattention, organization, and or hyperactivity. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder is marked by an ongoing pattern of inattention or hyperactivity, impulsivity that interferes with function of development. According to the DSM-5, there are 3 main types, which is inattentive, hyperactive, or combination of both. The main type is ADHD. This is when a person cannot pay attention, but they don't have the hyperactivity or impulsive side of it. ADHD combined type is when they have all 3. And then the hyperactive impulsive is when they just have difficulty sitting or standing still, or can focus some, but where they lose their focus is when they get up and move. So those are the 3 main types. It is the most common pediatric neurobehavioral disorder that is out there right now. Approximately 7 to 10% of the population has this. And most people are diagnosed in childhood or school age, especially if they have the hyperactive type. If it's typically inattentive, a lot of times this can be missed early on. And it is one of the most easily treated mental health disorders that are out there. And there are a lot of risk factors that can happen. Treatments for ADHD include stimulant medication, and that has been found to be the most effective. There are some non-stimulant ones that are effective and now qualify for first-line use, which is very new, and that's called Quellbri. I have not personally had any experience with it as it's that new, but it has very good research statistics. ADHD coaching is very effective in teaching executive function skills, and a saying we like to say are that while the stimulant medications help and they can help you focus, it doesn't teach you the skills that you need to learn that you're lacking. There are multiple online apps that help with this. Effectiveness varies, and research hasn't shown a lot of effectiveness. This is the scary side of ADHD. If it's not treated, these patients are 13% more likely to actually commit suicide, not just attempt, but actually go through with it. They are 90% more likely to try some type of illicit drug because that gives them the dopamine fix that they're looking for that the stimulant medication would give. Adults with ADHD tend to earn 25% less over their lifetime because they can't hold a job long term. And it can have lifelong effects, and as I said before, it is one of the most treatable mental health conditions. This is where we decided to combine this talk because approximately 25% of children with dyslexia also have ADHD. Neurodevelopmental disorders that are common with ADHD include autism, learning disorders, speech problems, and Tourette syndrome. Behavioral disorders is conductive disorder, and then there's one called oppositional defiant disorder. Mood disorders such as depression, bipolar, anxiety. So when you do go for an evaluation for ADHD, they should be also screening for these three to make sure that you're treating the appropriate diagnosis. The other problem we have is sleep disorders because often some people will be very sensitive to the stimulant medications and they have difficulty falling asleep. The other one is substance use disorders because again, they get that dopamine fix from the illicit drugs. And that is the end of our slideshow for today. If you guys have questions, we would love for you to reach out to our various clinics. We work well together. If we find that when we're assessing either one of our clients and we're concerned for dyslexia or they're concerned for ADHD, we refer back and forth to each other. And we hope you found this information informative.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.